In the years before 1939, much of the world believed was broken, humiliated.
A defeated nation crushed by war reparations, inflation, and social unrest. Foreign observers.
Economic collapse created anger and humiliation across German society. While outsiders saw failure, others saw opportunity to reshape the nation by force.
New armored doctrines were being tested in secrecy. These machines were not built to fight old wars, but to redefine how wars were fought.
Strategy, not sheer manpower, was at the heart of Germany's planning. He warns that these plans assume speed, surprise, and total psychological shock.
Air power was central to Germany's plans. Control of the sky would decide the fate of armies below.
These pilots were trained relentlessly for precision and coordination. They would soon become instruments of terror and speed.
Germany's neighbors believed treaties and diplomacy would hold. This belief would prove catastrophically wrong.
This move shattered the post-war order without resistance. The world hesitated, and Germany learned a dangerous lesson.
Each success fed confidence and ambition. Restraint was vanishing, replaced by momentum.
Germany was now ready to test its new doctrine in real combat. He states that the coming attack would shock the world.
Europe stood on the edge of war. Few believed Germany could strike so decisively.
The German attack began with overwhelming force. Speed and coordination left defenders stunned.
This was a new kind of warfare. Traditional defenses collapsed within hours.
The speed of the German advance shattered organized resistance. The world watched in disbelief. Shock spread across Europe. Germany had done in days what was thought impossible. Disbelief turned into fear. Germany's strength had been gravely underestimated.
Victory reinforced confidence in the German war machine. Momentum was now Germany's greatest ally.
Logistics, the lifeblood of warfare, kept pace with the relentlessness of combat.
The German advance never paused. Relentless movement prevented enemies from regrouping. Allied strategy relied on fortifications and delay. This approach was dangerously outdated.
The surprise was absolute. German commanders exploited every weakness.
The communication collapsed under pressure. Chaos spread faster than information.
How air power sealed the battlefield. Retreat became a nightmare.
Entire armies were being outmaneuvered. Speed defeated strength.
Resistance was collapsing piecemeal. The relentless pressure had a significant psychological impact.
Shock extended beyond armies to entire populations. Europe was realizing its mistake.
Decision-makers struggled to comprehend the scale of defeat. Time was running out.
The encirclement tactic was deliberate and devastating. Entire armies found themselves trapped as their supply lines were severed.
Initial disbelief among the troops turned into grim resignation. The myth of German weakness was dead.
Success validated years of planning. Confidence was turning into arrogance.
Fear now gripped Western Europe. The war machine was rolling west.
Germany no longer hid its strength. Speed remained its greatest weapon.
These static defenses failed against mobile warfare. It was a failure of doctrine, not of bravery, that decided the outcome here.
The war machine, a relentless behemoth, absorbed its casualties and kept moving forward. Momentum, they believed, was everything.
The retreat routes were cut systematically, making escape nearly impossible.
Firepower softened resistance before armored thrusts. The efficiency of combined arms.
The collapse came faster than anyone predicted. Europe was stunned.
The weather condition did not slow the advance. The troops showed relentless determination.
The scale of their material losses mirrored moral collapse. The balance of power had shifted. Pauses were brief and calculated. Speed left no room for hesitation.
Political shock matched military defeat. Time was slipping away.
Victory now seemed inevitable. The speed of Germany's rise was unprecedented.
Escape became a desperate fight for survival. The cost of underestimation, now paid in blood and fire, immeasurable. Control of the air, it was a decisive factor. It sealed the outcome of entire campaigns. The war machine,
The shock left scars beyond the battlefield. Europe had gravely misjudged Germany's strength.
The belief in German weakness was shattered completely. This was only the beginning.
Europe's balance of power was violently overturned.
The momentum of their success fed their ambition, and the ambition that the war machine would not stop willingly. The world now understood its mistake, setting the stage for even greater destruction still to come.
early victories bred dangerous confidence within the German command. Success convinced leaders the war machine was unstoppable. Logistics strained under massive expansion. Speed now risked outrunning supply. Planners underestimated climate and distance. Early triumphs blinded leaders to looming dangers.
Germany now faced an enemy with space to trade for time. The war machine was being drawn into a vast trap.
Resistance stiffened dramatically. Speed alone could no longer guarantee victory.
It was here that the momentum first began to slow. The true cost of overextension was being paid in blood and frost.
Machines designed for speed now suffered from wear and climate. Limits were being exposed.
Quick victories gave way to brutal attrition. He warns that the war machine was grinding down.
Losses mounted rapidly west. Losses mounted rapidly. Fruit, emphasizing that Germans' strength had limits.
Industry was pushed beyond sustainable levels. Efficiency now demanded sacrifice.
Germany's enemies were awakening, and the industrial scale of their awakening would ultimately decide the war.
Supply lines now stretched worldwide. Germany faced growing opposition.
The war returned home. The war machine could not shield civilians.
Air superiority was shifting. German industry would now be targeted relentlessly. Production slowed under bombardment. Total war spared nothing. Morale suffered alongside output. Confidence was eroding.
Unity fractured under pressure. Mistakes multiplied.
The Allies learned from early defeats. Preparation now matched determination.
A decisive return to Europe was in preparation. The sheer scale of Allied power assembled was unprecedented.
As Germany braced for the inevitable invasion, its resources were already stretched thin across the continent. Air supremacy softened defenses. The war machine was being systematically dismantled.
Germany now fought on multiple fronts. Speed no longer favored the defenders.
The advance, once so swift and relentless, had replaced by a weary retreat. A profound reversal of fortune had faded all.
Germany was being crushed between enemies. The cost of earlier overconfidence was becoming clear.
The war machine now consumed its own strength. Collapse was accelerating. Logistics failed under sustained attack, emphasizing the breakdown of movement.
The war spared no one. The illusion of control was gone.
Combined arms tactics were now working against Germany. The Allies had seized the initiative.
Decisions were made under extreme pressure. Options were vanishing.
Despite the hopelessness of their situation, resistance continued. Fanaticism had replaced strategy.
Overwhelming force ended the resistance piece by piece. The outcome was inevitable.
Their endurance finally broke. The collapse of the war machine.
The tide had fully turned. Germany's gamble had failed.
Defeat left deep scars across the nation. We must never forget the profound human cost of this destruction.
The end of the war was approaching, representing the final operations. Progress expanded, necessitating control of plant.
Resistance lingered despite inevitable defeat. Destruction mounted to the very end.
Command and control disintegrated. What followed was total collapse.
The German war machine lay broken. Resistance, it seemed, had finally come to an end.
Here, amidst the destruction, power dissolved. Germany's ambitions ended here.
He said. In the spring of 1945, a solemn ceremony took place.
The fighting, after years of unimaginable brutality, cessed at last.
The vast scale of the destruction.
The legacy of underestimation was written in lives lost. Arrogance fueled catastrophe.
The victory was hard won, but with it came a responsibility to learn from the sacrifices.
The continent would never be the same. The price of misjudgment, a lesson etched into stone and steel, began to be understood. It is through remembrance that we honor the fallen, and its survivors carried invisible wounds. War's impact endured long after the guns fell silent.
From the ashes of devastation, a fragile hope emerged.
The world order changed permanently, and the consequences extended far beyond the battlefields, into the lives of ordinary people.
Instruments of destruction, once wielded with fury, now fade, reclaimed by the patient hand of nature. These documents teach us that understanding the past is the only way to prevent its repetition. We must learn these lessons well. Peace was hard won. A generation everything, so that these fields once again yield harvests. Power built on aggression collapses. The lesson is eternal. The world once believed Germany was weak and paid dearly for that mistake.